It's Rock 100.5. I'm Jay Philpott, and being joined today with Troy McLawhorn. Did I emphasize everything right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Is it McLawhorn?
McLawhorn.
McLawhorn.
Yeah, it's just basically the MC at the beginning and then the word law and the word horn. McLawhorn.
Got it. Okay. Of Evanescence. That's the important part, because Evanescence is a big part of the Rock 100.5 spring break trip, which is April 30th. You guys are going to be playing at the House of Blues in Disney Springs.
Yeah, we were originally, there was a festival that we were going to play, but it's fallen apart, or I don't know, it got canceled. So we wanted to, we've got a couple of other shows in Florida around that show, so we just managed to get into the House of Blues.
Well, now, Evanescence has been on hiatus for a long period of time, and I think it was just last November you guys played in Japan at Ozfest there.
Yeah.
Wasn't that your first time back on the stage in quite a while?
Yeah, that actually wasn't the first show. We did 3 shows in the States before that, and kind of moved. We started in Nashville. We played a show there. We played a show in Dallas. We played a show in Los Angeles just to get warmed up, because we hadn't played in 2 years. And then we played in Japan at Ozfest. It was great.
So how does that work? How do you get invited onto the Ozfest tour? Do you get to interact with Ozzy at all? Did you hang with him?
I didn't meet Ozzy. I saw the Korn guys. I saw some of the other artists there, but I never saw Ozzy. And we actually flew back home the day that Ozzy played, so we didn't even get to see. It was a 2-day festival, so we didn't even see Ozzy play.
And Japanese audiences have always just loved American rockers. It's still like that, right?
Yeah, it's a great vibe playing there. It's a little different. The Japanese are a very polite audience. I mean, you don't see cell phones, everywhere, and in between songs, it's actually pretty quiet. There's 10 seconds of really loud clapping and cheering, and then everybody just stops, and they wait for you to play the next song.
See, I bring my cell phone out at concerts, but only because I have the Zippo app.
Right, the lighter.
Right, you have the lighter, and if it's quiet, which of course it isn't in the concert setting, but if it's quiet enough, you can get that authentic Zippo click.
Oh, yeah?
It's the coolest thing.
Have that app.
You can't get the smell of the fluid. They haven't perfected that yet.
I like that smell, though.
Yeah. Okay, so back in the United States now, see, Ozfest in Japan was in November, so we're about 4 months down the road, and you guys are starting to do some more consistent touring, but as I understand it, there isn't any new Evanescence music, but Amy's doing something solo, right?
Yeah, she's been putting out some cover songs on YouTube, doing little videos with them. We haven't started working on any music yet for another album, but we're doing some lazy touring. Amy had a baby a couple of years ago, and she's liking being at home and being a mom, and you don't want to miss that time when a kid's that young. So we're all very understanding of that. I mean, we all have kids now, everybody in the band, except the new guitar player, Jen.
You mentioned cover songs and cover versions, and about the time you came into Evanescence, which was about 4 years ago?
No, I've been with Evanescence since 2007.
Oh, okay, but you were also, name off the bands you've been in. You've been in some badass bands.
I was in Seether for 3 years. That's probably the next biggest band I've ever played with, and I did one album with them. I co-wrote Country Song, which was a big single for them, and a few other songs on that album. And I was in a band called Dark New Day that was on Warner Brothers, and we were a heavier kind of heavy rock band. But we did a lot of tours. We toured with Seether, actually. And I've been in another band called Double Drive back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was on MCA, and then we went to Roadrunner. And we had a couple of minor hits on the radio.
What got me asking you about all that was how you mentioned cover songs, and about the time you came into about the time you came into Seether, you guys did Careless Whisper.
Yeah.
And I thought, what?
That was a lot of fun. I mean, that's the closet song that all the rockers like, Right. I mean, it's a great song, the George Michael version. But, we kind of played around with it at Soundcheck a few times as a joke, and it's kind of started to turn into something cool, and we were like, man, let's just put it out there and see if, everybody else likes it as much as we do.
Now, I haven't heard this, but I saw that you've done a Sinatra song. You did I've Got You Under My Skin.
Yep. We did an acoustic thing for, I think it was for Yahoo or something like that. I don't remember what it was for, but they took us in a studio and we did a session where they asked questions and then we would play a couple of acoustic songs, and we did that as a cover.
That's cool. That's very cool. I'm talking with Troy McLawhorn of Evanescence. Of course, Evanescence is performing as a part of the Rock 100.5 spring break trip at Disney Springs in the House of Blues. Evanescence, of course, winners of the Best New Artist Grammy and Best Hard Rock Performance for Bring Me to Life in 2004. That just must be fun to play that song, even though you weren't involved in the original, and see the people react to it.
Yeah, that's always a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
People love that song.
Now, in the hiatus that's been going on in the time away from Evanescence, you've kind of developed your own thing going, and it's not necessarily performing. You're doing some producing, I understand, and some behind-the-scenes work.
I've worked with a couple of local artists, and some people not in town also. It's fun to be on the other side of the business. Working with another artist to develop their songs and record them. So I've been doing a little bit of that, playing it. I've got another band also. It's mainly just for fun, but it's called Pandora's Box, and we're an Aerosmith tribute band.
No kidding.
Yeah, and we're playing at 37 Main on April 23rd.
Well, there you go. See, now that's the great warm-up right there. And before you go see Troy and Evanescence, if you win one of these trips, which you can do very shortly, perhaps go to 37 Main April 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And a week later, you can take the trip to Florida on April 30th, all part of the Rock 100.5 spring break. Troy, I want to thank you for stopping by. Oh, we got to talk about what we're giving away, too, as a part of the trip.
Yes.
We have this killer guitar that you can win as well. And are you thinking maybe you'll sign the guitar for us?
Absolutely. I'm going to scribble all over it.
Okay. I remember some performers don't like to sign guitars because it violates the terms of a deal they might have with one of the guitar makers. But you don't have such conflict, right?
No, I do have a deal with PRS guitars, but they're extremely nice people. It's a family atmosphere there, and they understand that all the things that we do to promote our bands and all, they even let me play my Fender guitars and Les Pauls on stage as long as I play their guitars too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Troy McLawhorn of Evanescence, and your chance to win a trip, Rock 100.5 spring break trip to Florida with our friends at visitflorida.com. Win that guitar all weekend long on Rock 100.5. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you.